2014, right? This is from the Pope's attorney to the world. Issued, and this goes to show you that all these politicians have this information in case you didn't know. And later on, we're going to show you, we're going to read the non-pro-tunc document that came from Philadelphia Chambers to give you further support on nationalization. Issued to all members of the domestic police forces, U.S. Marshal Services, the Provost Marshal, members of the American Bar Association, and the American Armed Services. These organic American states of the Union, known as the United States of America, major, exercising plenary civil powers upon the land, hereby appoint General Carter F. Ham to lead and command the Grand Army of the Republic, he didn't say democracy, Republic, and its successors under the guidance of the Joint Chiefs of Staff with their full support. Should it become necessary to suppress commercial mercenary forces operating upon the guise of being federal government agencies, including but not limited to the Department of Homeland Security, the Federal Emergency Management Administration, the Internal Revenue Service, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, etc. General Ham shall assume immediate command and control of all armed services owed to the United States of America, major, stationed in North America, and shall join them under his command, the Grand Army of the Republic. All forces of air, land, and sea are to be employed. They're admitting in this document there's a civil war going on, and I guarantee you that most people don't know that there's a civil war going on right now all around us. Let me read the last paragraph and look how it connects. And I told you all of this politics is concerning you. Remember I told you about the White Dragon Society of the Asiatics? Here's your last paragraph. Think noble drawly when I read this paragraph to you. All those estates, think George Washington and the conversion of the estates to the states. I know a long history, you all. Erroneously believed to represent the American states and the American state citizens, and which were conveyed by fraud and legal deceit to the United States of America, minor, he's making a distinction between the two, de jure, de facto, and more recently to the city-state of the United Nations, are revenued without exception to the geographically defined American states and American state citizens, where they shall remain in perpetuity as assets belonging to the rightful and lawful beneficiaries. Talking straw man here, y'all. All legal fiction entities, that's all them straws, however structured and named after the American states and American state citizens, are returned to them and their control, economics control, ownership, free and clear of any debt, promise, encumbrance, or obligation alleged against them as a result of false claims made in their behalf by officers of the United States of America, Incorporated, and the United States Incorporated, all capital letters, or by any foreign officials operating in the United States of America, minor, or the United Nations city-state, falsely claiming to represent them, quote unquote, or have jurisdiction over them. We note that the current circumstance is in part the result of criminal acts engaged in 150 years ago, which resulted in the commercial enslavement of African Americans. That's the birthright theft. Who were summarily claimed as chattels backing U.S. government debt in the wake of the Civil War, and despite any act of abolition and declaration of prohibition and against both peonage and slavery, it has been the policy of the U.S. government to enslave its citizens and to operate as a rogue state among the nations of the world. Instead of freeing African Americans, the sum total result of the Civil War was to vastly expand public sector ownership of slaves, giving rise to the outrageous and improper claims that have been made against the American states and American state citizens, and we are dealing with today. It is uniquely fitting that the Grand Army of the Republic is recalled to settle this circumstance in favor of the people. The right to act comes with the responsibility to act, and that is signed off by Anna Maria, Wilhelma, Hannah, Sophia, Ritzinger, von Ritzenstein, and von Ledlow, Warbeck, private attorney in service to His Holiness Pope Francis, etc. So now you understand the politics. Get with it.